Well, I started out as a graphic design student, became a graphic designer, and graduated from college as a graphic designer, but fell in love with photography as a medium in the process of doing that, and decided that I really liked, the camera better than I liked the T-square and the triangle and the zipatone and the press type. So I started that process and finally got to the point where I could make a living as a photographer. And all of that time I was shooting practically anything I could find that I thought was interesting or cool. And musicians were part of that. And so I started shooting musicians every chance I got. So shooting concert lighting is a very difficult thing because it changes very, very quickly. It's massively backlit. So even for somebody who really knows what they're doing, it's not an easy trick. And back in that day, of course, you couldn't look at the back of the camera and see what you just shot. You shot the film, you took it to the lab, and at some point along the way, in the early goings, you crossed your fingers. The rock that I've shot has always been first and foremost for myself. If I thought I could have made a living as a rock photographer when I was in my late 20s and early 30s, I probably would have done it in a heartbeat. But I really didn't have access to that game in any real sense of the word, and I did know the commercial thing so much better. And so I started with the commercial thing, and then the rock thing became very much not a hobby exactly, but a pastime, that I loved doing, and I did it for fun. Because I wasn't shooting for publications, access was always a little tricky. I tried everything almost imaginable over the years to sneak around the access problem. I, of course, loved Bob Dylan, wanted some photos of Bob Dylan. So I snuck a camera in under my coat, putting a long lens in my pocket and one on the camera and another one in my pocket, just because I wasn't sure where my seat would actually be and what kind of framing I would want. Every concert is an event in time, and actually very important events, because if we look back through our lives, one of the things that we mark in our lives are the bands we loved and the music we loved at the time. And of course, if we were watching live music, that was a part of that whole thing. So these are benchmarks in our lives. And so at that level, it is documentary photography. In the imagery itself, it becomes art photography, because then it is a moment in time. It's a nanosecond where the lighting and the artist and the emotion and everything comes through. You give me any opportunity to get my elbows on the stage of a rock concert with my cameras in my hand, and I'll take you up on it.